Welcome to your prenatal yoga class. My name is Clarissa and I'll be guiding you through your practice. Remember to always take your time and go at your own pace. As we begin to settle into the practice, let's close our eyes, placing one hand on the heart and one hand on your navel. Begin to slow your breath down, feeling your bottom hand rise and fall with every breath. Slowing it right down. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Stay for 2 more rounds of breath. As you exhale, releasing the hands to your knees, tuck your chin into your chest and curl and around your spine. As you inhale, lift the heart and look up. Again, exhaling, we curl and round the spine and continue with this spinal wave, lifting the gaze up on the inhale and exhaling to curl and round, massaging the spine with breath. Go at your own pace as you continue to warm up, noticing how your body is feeling as we start with these warm-up stretches. Next, place your right hands onto the left-hand side of your face and gently carry your ear over to your shoulder, feeling that lovely stretch on the opposite side. Change. Your left hand now finds the right ear and gently leaning over, lots of breath into that stretch. The eyes might close. Reach the right hand down towards the ground and left hand will stretch up and over. A nice long lengthened line, again really breathing into the rib cage. To the other side, left hand is down, right is reaching up and over, palm faces down. Maybe you turn your gaze up towards the sky. Lots of breath into the ribs. As we come back up, we place the right hand in front, left comes behind, and rotate the body, looking over your shoulder. We're never twisting too deeply. Switch to the other side. Enjoy how this feels on your spine as we create lots of space. Take a breath. And exhale, release. Lifting the hands up towards the sky and reaching the arms wide. I call that cactus shape, and we bring the arms back down. Inhale, we bring the hands up towards the sky, and exhale, bending the elbows and feeling that lovely chest stretch as we continue. And remember to stay with your breath. Place your hands behind you and unfold your legs, giving them a little shake about, getting that blood to flow back through the legs. Begin to point and flex the toes as we roll those ankles out. When you're ready, the feet draw back, knees bent, feet wide to the edges of the mat, and start to wave the knees from side to side. We then fold our left knee in, right leg goes long, right hand's going to slide down the leg, and left arm will stretch up and over. Over to the other side, left hand grounds and right reaches up and over. And we continue to rock from side to side. As you bring the left hand down, there's a choice to lift the pelvis up as you reach that right arm up and over. This is a little more of a strenuous move, so it's really up to you. Depends where you are in your pregnancy and how your body is feeling. You might opt to keep the pelvis grounding the whole time, or you might choose to do that little lift. With that side complete, we fold the soles of the feet together, finding our Baddha Konasana and adding a nice neck roll. Gazing high up to the ceiling and exhaling as we tuck our chin and curl down. Again, continuing to warm through the pelvis and groins, giving that neck a nice stretch as well. Making sure to change directions with each rotation. And then now that we feel more warm, we can come forward. Elbows grounding into the legs, heavy neck and shoulders, breath into this stretch. Rolling back up one vertebrae at a time and changing this exercise to the other side. So right leg folds in, left goes long, and the right arm stretches up and over. Right hand grounds and left hand stretches over, and we continue this rock from side to side with a choice to lift the pelvis or to keep it grounded. Remember to stay with your breath, maybe inhaling as you slide down the leg and exhaling as you reach away. It's going at your own pace. When that feels complete, we'll make our way to an all-fours position, however you need to get there. Grounding hands under shoulders and knees under the hips. Starting in our cat-cow curls, gazing up to the ceiling as we inhale and exhale to tuck tailbone, chin tucks, and we round the spine. Inhaling, we think hammock position for baby as we lift the heart. Exhale, we hug navel in towards baby and we curl to round. We continue with these cat-cow curls. And then we walk our hands forward. And with that space, we can loosen up the hips, really going into whatever flow makes sense in your body. Maybe hips push back into child's pose. Maybe we let the belly hang forward. We think figure 8 motions or whatever feels nice. You could come into upward facing dog as long as your pelvis and your belly are not on the ground, but lifting the heart and looking up. And then we widen our knees out to the edges of the mat. Let the hips sink back towards the heels. I like to fold my arms and turn one ear down for child's pose, balasana. Slowing your breath. Heavy belly as you exhale. Space into the shoulder blades as you inhale. Slowly, gently coming out of that shape and arriving again in your all fours, hugging in from the rib cage to the midline of your body. Lift the right leg. We begin to bend the knee and curl and round, forehead towards the knee. Inhaling, toe high to the sky, and exhale to curl in. Continue with that breath, inhaling, nose up, exhale, curling in. Don't worry about knee coming towards your face. It's not going to go there. Just feeling that nice release. Cross that right leg over, gazing over your left shoulder as you ground your toes. Breath into the right side of the ribs. Return your leg behind and we'll step the left foot back. We find our first downward facing dog of the practice, rolling your shoulders down and away and maybe trading the heels down one at a time to get into tight calves. Your feet might be wide to the edges of the mat to create lots of space. And when that feels complete, knees down. Again, we hug from the rib cage to the midline of the body and the left leg comes back. Lifting the leg about the height of the pelvis and we curl that knee in. Inhaling, toe high to the ceiling. Exhale to curl. Again, think that action of our cat-cow curls is adding the leg. Feel like all your fingers are pressing down, little softening to your elbows. And staying with your breath. Extend your leg long. This time it carries over to the right and we gaze over the right shoulder. Lots of breath into the left-hand side of the rib cage. Step your left foot back. The right foot is going to join. And we find again a downward facing dog, still pedaling out those heels, still relaxing neck and shoulders. Feet wide to the edges of the mat, and we walk those hands backwards towards the toes. Maybe resting elbows on thighs in that modified version of forward fold. Or you could bring your hands down to the floor if you have that space, and just giving your head a little shake. Hands find the thighs. We slow curl to roll all the way back up, reaching wide, inhaling, and exhale, hands to heart. Stepping to the back of your mat, feet wide to the edges and palms to touch in front of your heart, reaching wide as we inhale. Exhale, bend the knees into that squat position. Spread hands wide as we straighten and stand, and exhale to sink. Continue that flow of inhaling, reaching up, and exhale, sitting those sit bones back as if you're sitting into a chair. Right elbow grounds and left reaches high up to the sky. Maybe the right hand travels to the floor. It just depends on your space. Switching other side, left grounding, right stretches up towards the sky. Maybe left pops down to the floor. Both elbows ground. We stay in the middle for a breath. Press off those thighs and curl to roll up to the top. Again, spreading hands, inhaling, and exhale to your heart. Stepping those feet together, big toes to touch slightly apart from the heels, energy through fingers as we stretch the hands up and exhale to reach through. Make sure as you bend those knees that the knees are touching, and we continue to keep those knees bent as we swing the hands forward and up, forward and back. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Flowing with the breath, inhale, and exhale, release the arms. We're going to step that left foot forward into our warrior one position, thinking feet on train tracks, one on one side of the pelvis, one on the other. Energy through the fingers as we stretch up, and exhale, we dive forward. Inhaling, stretching up to the sky, and exhaling, reaching through. Feel like the inner thighs are zipping in, hugging together to keep yourself stable. Feel all your toes grounding into the floor. Hands arrive on your hips, and we travel into our warrior two position. Belly is facing to the long side of the mat, and the hands spread wide to the side. Coming to our right side angle, left elbow is going to plant. My hand is placed on my belly. Right arm is stretching above overhead. Lots of breath into that right hand side rib cage. Hands travel down to the ground. We turn our toes to point forward to the long side and into our wide-legged standing forward fold. Heavy through the head. I'm trading my weight from side to side, loosening up through inner thighs. Little hamstring stretch if you straighten the legs. Left back of the hand finds the pelvis, rolling shoulder back, or maybe reaching that hand up towards the sky and gazing up. Switching, grounding left, right hand finds the pelvis. We roll that shoulder back, staying there, or reaching those fingertips to the sky and looking up. Hands find the earth, hands find thighs. We slow curl and roll up and gently heel toe those feet. Just in slightly. Turning the toes open, we think tailbone tucking as we travel down to our goddess squats. 5-point stars, we stretch the hands up and exhale, tailbone drives down. We have our feet in that nice wide stance, palms to touch, tailbone guides down. Inhale, a little heart lift as those hands spread wide. You choose how low you go in that goddess squat. Pausing at the top, interlacing fingers behind the pelvis, roll the shoulders back. To modify, gripping the elbows instead. From wherever you are, add a little neck roll. You feel that lovely stretch in the chest and shoulders and into your neck. Releasing the hands and heel to the feet back all the way in. And returning to the back of your mat. Back to our fierce pose, big toes to touch, slightly apart from the heels. Squeeze the knees, those hands traveling up as we inhale. Exhale, they flow down. Continue with your breath, inhaling up, exhaling back. And then reach the arms all the way back down. Interlace the fingers, feet about pelvic width, elbows wide, lay your head into your hands and enjoy this stretch for the front of the chest and shoulders. Release the arms and we come back up, and this time our right foot is our forward foot for warrior one. Front knee is bent, back leg is strong and straight. We turn the chest and shoulders forward. Inhale energy through fingers as we reach up, and exhale we dive forward. Flowing with your breath, taking your own pace, choosing your depth as you come forward. You can always change your range of motion. At the top, hands find the hips, and we adjust those legs so that they're in one line now. Belly faces to the long side of the mat. As we bend the knee, watch that it opens up in the direction of the toes. Elbows gonna rest, hands hanging onto the belly. Left arm is stretching over top. Lots of breath into the rib cage. Hands swing down. We find our wide-legged stance. Adjust the feet if you need to. Here I like to do a little waving of the hips to get settled, and then I'm going to walk the hands forward for a really wide-footed downward facing dog shape. Heavy through the head. Gently walking back, curling that spine as we roll back up to the top. Heel till those feet in all the way and step towards the back of the mat. Bend the knees, slow curl to come down and walk those hands all the way forward. From our downward facing dog, we choose our left leg to rise to the sky and slide forward for pigeon. I'm going to turn myself so you can see. So bring that shin forward so there's lots of space between your heel and your belly. Just making sure that heel is not pressing in. Back leg is long and strong. You might have a cushion maybe underneath your left cheek or a block if you have it. Hands could remain down or elbows resting, and we find our breath. Lovely hip opener. Relax the jaw and facial muscles. And we slowly come out of this shape and slide our back leg in, arriving into our all fours so we can wag the tail, letting the hips rock from side to side or circle the hips or whatever feels nice. Downward facing dog again. This time we pick up our right leg and then we slide that shin forward. The knee is on one side of the mat and the toes are on the other. I carried my heel forward just to make lots of space between my heel and the belly. Remember, you can place a cushion underneath your right cheek if you want to, or a block if you have it. Sometimes that just creates more space. You could keep your hands down. Don't feel like you have to bring elbows down, but some people like the depth that they get when they bring their elbows down and rest the forehead. Remember to stay with your breath, especially thinking spaciousness in the mouth and the jaw. Try not to clench any muscles. I often have to remind myself to soften my glutes. And slowly, gently, we'll come out of that shape, sliding the knee back, again wagging the tail, and always thinking about just loosening up the hips after that big stretch. I'm heading onto my pelvis and coming to a wide leg shape. Don't worry about what your slice of the pie looks like. Our hands will start to slide down the legs from one side to the other, getting really heavy through the head as we lean from one side to the other. Begin to rotate from the rib cage to the left-hand side. Let's keep our hands on the inside of the leg instead of straddling it. Walk the hands down until you feel enough stretch, thinking really lengthening out the spine and then chins relaxing. Staying low and traveling to the middle. Hands resting, or it could be elbows resting down. You could have props underneath the arms if you have them. And walking over, again rotating from the rib cage. We're on the other side, keeping our hands to the inside of the leg and slowly walking down. Looking long, lengthened spine, relax the arms, relax the shoulders down. And slowly come back up. Let's refold the legs, hands on the lap, and start to roll those shoulders out. As we are here, we're thinking about where we might want to be for our final pose of Shavasana, so letting the whole practice soak into the body. On your own time, when the video is complete, just take that time for yourself, either in seated meditation or lying down on your side, just to think about all that we've done and to let it all soak in. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice, and to you I say namaste.